Hi everyone. In today's video, we will know about AWS Code Build. So let's move to agenda. Let's see what we will learn in this video. So in this video, we will learn what is AWS Code Build, why it's important, and what are the key features, how AWS Cloud Build works, and the benefits of using, and what are the use cases and the build pricing model. So let's see one by one. What is AWS Code Build? It's a cloud-based service. It compiles the source code and run the test, and it's a fully managed CI services, and it not need to set up and manage your own services. It's a component of modern CI/CD pipeline. So let's see the agenda. Let's see the definition. AWS Code Build is a cloud-based services that compiles the source code, runs, tests, and creates the packages for deployment. And it's a fully managed continuous integration services that eliminates the need to manage, provision, and scale build servers. You don't need to set up or manage your own servers. AWS handles that for you. And it's a crucial component of modern CI/CD. It's continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline. So this is what is AWS Code Build. So let's see why it's important. Why it's important means it's a code build is a fully managed build services by Amazon Web Services that simplifies the software development process by automating the compilation, testing, and packaging of code. And it integrates seamlessly with source repositories like GitHub, Bitbucket, and AWS Code Commit, as well as CI/CD tools such as AWS Code Pipeline and Jenkins. So why it's important? It's a fully managed build, and it simplifies the software development process and automating the compilations, and it integrated with source repositories. So that's why it's important. The next is benefits of using AWS Code Build. The main benefits are scalability, parallel processing, cost, ease of use, integrations, and reporting. So let's see one by one what are the definitions and how it useful. The scalability. Code build automatically scales up and down to accommodate the build value. So it's up and down according to the build value. And the parallel processing. Code build can process multiple builds at the same time. And this cost. You only pay for the build resources you use on a minute by minute basis. So it costs based on the what are the times you use. It's cost every minute. And the ease of use. You can get started quickly with the pre-packaged build environments or use own custom build environments. Integrations. Code build integrate with open source tools like Jenkins and Spinnaker. The next is reporting. Code builder creates reports for unit, functional, or integration tests. And also how to use the AWS Code Build means it specifies the location of your source code. It chooses your build setting, and Code Build runs build script to compile, test, and packages your code. So this is the benefits and how to use this. The next is key features. The main key features are it's a fully managed services, and it supports multiple languages and framework, automatic scaling, pay-as-you-go pricing, and customizable build environment, integration with third-party tools, security and compliance, and continuous integration with automated testing. So let's see one by one. Fully managed services. No infrastructure management of AWS Code Build eliminates the need of setup and manages or scale build services. It automatically handles the underlying infrastructure, and also it Code Build can scale up to meet your build needs. It automatically provisions the necessary resources to handle any build workloads. The next is support multiple languages and framework. Code Build support a wide range of programming languages like Java, Python, Node.js, Ruby, etc. and frameworks, making it suitable for a variety of deployment workflows. Whether you are building a Java backend, a Node.js application, or Python script, Code Build can handle it. The next is automating scaling. Code Build automatically scales up and down the number of build instances depending on the workload. This means your project has high build demand, Code Build can provide the necessary resource without you needing to configure or manage the additional infrastructure. So in this, you no need to manage the additional infrastructure according to your workload. Code Build can provide the necessary resources. The next is customizable, pay-as-you-go pricing. AWS Code Build operates on a pay-as-you-go pricing model where you only pay for the compute time used during builds. There are no upfront class or long-term commitments. This pricing model is ideal for teams that need a flexible and cost-effective solution for the CI/CD. The next is customizable build environments. Code Build offers predefined build environments for popular programming languages like Java, Python, Ruby, etc. and frameworks. These pre-configured environments come with all necessary dependencies to start the building your application quickly. Next is integration with third-party rules. While it's slightly integrated with other AWS tools, Code Build can also be used with the third-party rules like GitHub, Bitbucket or GitLab for source controls, and Jenkins or other CI/CD tools for more complex workflow. So it contains more complex workflow. The next is security and compliance. A Code Build integrates with the AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM). It allows you to control access to build projects and restrict permission for each build environment. You can define who can trigger, and also in the encryption, Code Build support encryption at rest and in transit your build artifacts, and you can encrypt it using the AWS key management services. It is handling the sensitive data. So the IAM helps to restrict the permission to each build, and the encryption is encrypted. The KMS means key management services. It handles the secure the sensitive data. The next is continuous integration with automated testing. Code Build can be configured to run unit tests, integration tests, and other types of tests as part of your build process. By automating the test phases, you can ensure the issues that are detected early in the development cycle, improving the overall quality of your software. And by combining Code Build with AWS Code Pipeline, you can set up the fully automated CI/CD pipeline where code is continuously built, tested, and deployed, ensuring faster and more reliable releases. So these are all the key features of the Code Build. The next is use case of AWS Code Build. The use cases are continuous integration, multi-platform development, agile development. In the continuous integration, it helps to automate the testing and building. And the multi-platform development, it different build environments and for the different platforms. So every different platform, it contains the different build environments. The agile method development. So it's a faster iterations with frequent builds. So it's frequently builds, doesn't any break for this agile methodology. It frequently building for faster. It contains the faster iterations. The next is how to run Code Build. So in the demo, we will see how to run the Code Build. In this theory purpose, it contains the Amazon Web Services. AWS Code Build contains the it can run with management console or other web services like command line interface or software development kits, and it contains the code pipeline. So let's see. You can use the AWS Code Build or AWS Code Pipeline to console to run the Code Build. So here we can use the Code Build or Code Pipeline to run the Code Build. You can also automate the running of Code Build using the AWS command line interface or management console or the AWS software developments. You can run the Code Build. You can add Code Build as a build or test action to the build or test stage of the pipeline in the AWS Code Pipeline. AWS Code Pipeline is a continuous delivery services that you can use to model, visualize and automate the steps it required to release your code. So we can use for the code to run the code build in this pipeline. This includes building your code. The pipeline workflow is describes how code changes through the release process. So how it changes through the release process. So this is how to run Code Build. So we can run the Code Build. We can use the management console or CLI or a software development kit. We can use any one to run this Code Build. The next is AWS Code Build price modeling. So the price modeling, it contains the pay as you go, free tier, no upfront cost. So free tier means AWS Code Build provides some free tier, so we can use for the 1 year up to some hours. It provided the free tier, so we can use this one also, and also it provide the another model, that is pay as you go. So in the some of this services, it contain pay as you go method. So how many hours or how many minutes we will use, they only pay for them only. So it only pay what we use, and also it a no upfront cost. So this is the pricing model. Let's go and see the demo how it works. So here we will create the code build for creating the new project. Yeah, code build. So in this left side, we can see there is a developer tools of code build, the source code commit, and the build projects build history. And also it contains some related integration like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, and GitHub Lab Runners, pipelines, etc. So here there is a no build projects here we need to create. So before creating that, I will show you GitHub repository. So which one? So I've created and how it works. Yeah. So here we can see code build demo. It's my repository I have created. So in this code build demo, there's a one more file code demo. So it contains these repositories like buildspec.yaml, index.html, style.css, and also it contains app.js. I will show you buildspec.yaml. So here we can see, so this is an important file for building the code build project. So it contains the versions, installs, and so I will explain while we are creating. So it contains all the details of this build spec, and also in the aspect.yaml. So it also contains this code related to the projects, and in the index.html we can see. So in the index.html, it contains the details of the language and the name and the header and the paragraph and the style like this. Oh, and also it contains the style.css. So for index.html, it contains the style page, and also we are seeing the app.js contains the log file, etc. So this is the GitHub repository for the code build project. So then so let's go and create the project. So here we need to create a project. So give the project name. I am giving as a code build demo project. So after that, so here we need to select the source. So there are many sources like GitHub Enterprise, Bitbucket, GitLab self-managed, Amazon S3, AWS Code Commit. So there are many sources. Here I am selecting GitHub because I am using the GitHub repository. So it's showing after selecting, it shows default source credential or custom source credential. So here we need to connect the GitHub. So go to manage default source credential. Selecting the OAuth app, and in the secrets you can select a new secrets, then click on connect to GitHub. So it's asking for authorize AWS code suite. So when we click on the confirm, it's successfully connected to the secret manager. So then the next is repository. In my GitHub repository, we need to select the repository. So we can use the repository in my GitHub account or public repository or GitHub scoped repository. But here I am using the repository in my GitHub account. So then it's asking for the GitHub repository. So go to your GitHub account, then go to the code here, copy this and go to the create build. Here we can paste this, remove the .git. So here we can see it shows the format how it will be there. So http github.username and the repository name. So we can give that one. So after that, source version is optional, you can give, otherwise you don't want. So the next is primary source webhook events. Here there is a build type. There is a two option. One is single build and the batch build. So in the single build, it triggers the single. In the batch build, it triggers multiple builds at the single executions. So here we can see it rebuilds every time a code changes is pushed to the repository. So once we need any changes or we can push the code into the repository, it rebuilds every time. The next is environment. So environment, it shows the on-demand. So on-demand environment helps to automatically provision build infrastructure in response to the new builds. And environment images is a managed image. We are using this image manage the AWS Code Build. So here I am using to compute the EC2 instances, or otherwise you can use the Lambda functions also, but I am using the EC2 instances. And also we can see it's the operating system. So there are multiple operating systems, so Amazon Linux and Ubuntu. So I am using the Ubuntu, and also runtime standards and the image code and the image version. And also it shows the service role. You can use the new service role, otherwise you can use the existing service roles also. So existing service role, you can show, I will show you. You can click on the existing service role. You can use to select the existing one, otherwise you can use the new service role. Here I am using the new service role. So give the role name. I am giving as a cloud demo project service role. Service role, yeah, that's it. Then there is comes to the next point is build specification. There is a two option for the build specification. You can insert the build command or you can use the build specific file. So in this insert build command, store the build command as a build project configuration. In the use build spec file, it stores the command in the YAML format files. So in the build command, you want to run during the build phase, there is a switch to editor. So go to the switch to editor. So here there is a build command. We need to change the command. So we have already write the code. So go to your repository. In this repository there is a file buildspec.yaml. So you can copy this and go to your build. So here we need to paste this. Yeah, so we can see. So we can paste it. So this symbol is used to format the active documents. You can click on this. It's formatted your code. Then we can see the code. So here I'm using the version as 0.2, and the next is a phases. So what we need to do, the next phases is a install phase. We need to install the dependencies and required libraries we need to install in this phase. So it doesn't required to no dependencies to install. It requires install the required libraries So this line indicates the no extra tools, softwares and libraries to be installed in this. The next phase is build phase. In the build phase, there is a command for echo the no build step needed for the static web application. So in this, it doesn't require any extra steps for so you are using the HTML, CSS, etc. You don't need to install or build the complexity steps to for the static web application. So it will run in those without any issues. The next phase is post build. In the post build, it's deploying the static web application to S3 buckets. So action to be taken after the build is completed. It doesn't require any deploying to the state web application to the S3 bucket. So it uses the AWS CLI commands. Here AWS S3 sync.s3 demo web app code. So in the current directory, it's redirected to the .s3. So here it's using the demo web app code. This is the target application code where the file will be uploaded. So it will copy all the file of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. to the current file. So this is the post build phase. The next is artifact files. So this artifacts phase helps to include which file to be included in this phase or not. So this is helps to store the files. So this is star hash pattern. So these artifacts in the file phase, it include what output should be recursively in the correct pattern. So this is the build specification. So the next is batch configuration, artifacts, CloudWatch logs. So the next is there is no need to any changes. Is let it be what there. So just create a build project. So here we can see project is created. So code build project is created. So the next thing what we need to do is start the build. So here we can see configuration, primary repository, source rows. The next is we need to start the build. So start build. So here the status. So it start the building. So it shows the status and start time and the initiator, build ARN, etc. And also here we can see it showing the in progress command, the status. Yeah. So here we can see it show an error as face context status code command execution error message. So error while executing the command AWS S3 sync the demo web app code reason is, exit the status one. So here we can see the status is failed. We need to change the code. So go to the GitHub repository here. So here it's have a S3 bucket, that is demo web app code. The error it's showing as so S3 demo web app code exists. Did not exist successfully in the S3 bucket. It does not exist successfully. That's the error it's showing. And the code build. Okay, sorry. In the code build GitHub repository, we have a command as demo web app code, but in the code build it's showing us it doesn't exist. So the next what we need to do is go to the S3 bucket. So let's create a bucket. okay, the bucket name, then disabled. So here we disable the public access. Yes, and here we need to enable the bucket versioning, and a bucket key also enabling. Just click on create bucket. Okay, it's already exist. Yeah, here we can see bucket is created successfully. So here enter this and go to the properties. So here we need to editing the static website hosting. Edit this one, and here we need to enable this. So here it's asking the index document name as index.html. So that's it. Save the changes. So after save the changes, yeah, then go to the code build. Here go to index.html. So in index.html we can see, so and give the title and some link for the style sheet, and also we can give the address, the welcome to my web app, and writing some paragraph like simple static web pages, and also we can give the style, color, anything. So we can give some index.html, we can write some code for relating to the images, log, and the title and the header. So after this index.html, so we can go to the code build. So in the code build, so while we are creating the bucket, so while I'm giving the bucket name, I will change as demo web app code to 1. So while we are changing, we need to change in the code build also. Go to the code build, and in this project details, go to the environment and go for the build spec. Go to edit. So in the edit, we need to change the S3 bucket name also. So while only it's running, otherwise it shows the error. So when we are changing any bucket name while creating, we need to change in the build specification also. After changing, we need to update the build spec. So that's it. So once we changing the bucket name, we again start build. So it's in progress. So here we can also see here. Yeah, so we can see now. So it's showing running the command, entering the phase. So first it's in the entering the phase as install, then it's a pre-build phase and the build phase, then it's post-build phase. So it's failed. It's showing an error as command did not exist successfully. AWS S3 sync. So the post-build state, it has failed. So we go and check what we need to change in the S3 bucket. Yeah, here we can see it succeed. Now what's the error is? So go. So it's showing us roles error. So go to the role in the IAMs. So in the IAM, go to the role section. In the role section, we can check for our service role, which one we have created, that is cloud demo project service role. So in this role, the permission part, so we are not adding the Amazon S3 full access permission. So we are not give the permission to the S3 access. That's why it's showing error. So once we giving the Amazon S3 services and save the changes, then go to the code build and just again start the build. So it's completed. So here we can see, so it's running the command. So that's why it's showing the error. So once we give the permission to the S3 access, it's succeeded in the building. So this is how we do build the projects. Then later we go to the S3 bucket. So in the S3 bucket, go into this and refresh this page. So there is a get and the code demo main. We are entering this. So here we can see whatever. So first we can go into this only. So here we can see git and code demo main. So go to the GitHub repository. You can see this is a code demo main. So whatever the file we have created in the GitHub repository, the files or the all files are created in S3 bucket also. So go inside this. So these are the files we have uploaded in the GitHub repository. The same files will be created in the S3 bucket also. So let's go and check. So in this, go to the code demo main. Here we can see whatever the files we have created in the GitHub repository, the whole files are created in S3 bucket also while we are pushing the code build. So when the code build is success to build the project, so all the files whatever we are created in the GitHub repository, the whole files will be created in the S3 bucket also. So this is how to build the project, and also we are creating the web pages using the index.html. So to accessing this web page, so in the bucket you go to the properties, and this properties, this is the endpoint. So click on this endpoint. It's showing the 403 forbidden error, so its access is denied. So what we need to do is go to this code and go to the permissions. So in the permission, you go to the bucket policy, click on edit. So in this, there is a policy examples and policy generators. We click on the policy generators. Yeah. So I will select the type of the policy it's selected, and the next is it's a principle. And yeah, here what we need to do is, so here we need to select the state of policy, that is S3 bucket policy. So the principle we are giving as start, and the action we need to select the action for the object. So that's why we are selecting the object, that is get. Here we are selecting this get object. So the next is it's asking the ARN number. So go to this edit. Here there is a bucket ARN, copy this ARN and go here. Here we need to paste this. So after pasting so we need to add the statement. So then we need to generate these policies. So copy this policy JSON documents. So after copying, go to this. Here we need to paste this. So then go and close this one. And this, after pasting, we need to save the changes. So try again the error later. Okay. So is this something error? Yeah, that's okay. Save changes. So after save changes, go to the properties again and go to the properties here. Bucket website endpoint, click on this, so it's showing error. Refresh this page. So here we can see, so it shows the web page which one we have created. So we have created the index.html file. It contains the title as welcome to my web page, and also it contains the paragraph. So this is how the code build is work. So this is all about the code build, how to create the project and how to add the permissions and creating the S3 buckets. So using the GitHub repository code, we can create the HTML pages also, and also you can create the Docker Jenkins, whatever you want to create. So you can also create the Docker using the GitHub repository. So here I am creating the index page. So this is all about the code build project. Thank you.